take a moment to relish the silence that is my house. The kids are outside playing. It's only going to be 100 today, so this morning it's cool enough. It's in the 70s to go out and run around. We went to the park. They're outside playing. Their cousin's over. It's like refreshing, renewal. Anyways, for today's video, I'm going to walk you through how I document / plan. So I have my Plum Paper Planner. Say that 10 times fast. Plum Paper Planner. It is a homeschool planner. I have a walkthrough video of this planner up on my channel. I historically just have used it for documentation just to make sure if any of the laws change, like I'm set. But I've started adding in a unit study, in which case I do need to have like some foresight and some stuff planned out so I know what I'm doing and what I need to make copies of or supplies I need by when. So I'm going to walk you through how I document basically last week's plan, what we actually did for our core subjects, and then how I'm going to lay out what we're going to do for our unit study. Please share, like, and subscribe, and I hope you enjoy the video. Let's get into it. Okay, so these are the supplies I basically use. I got my Plum Paper Planner. I have these friction ball clickers, which I love because they are erasable. I've got my printables I'm going to do. I have my map for my fall unit study, and I have my kids' core curriculum that I'm just going to breeze through. We do use The Good and the Beautiful for our math and writing. It came highly recommended to me. I feel like there's a fuss out there. Like some people love it, some people hate it. I don't know. That's just what came recommended to me by lots of people I knew and didn't know. Okay, so let's get started. So, first of all, forgive me for how many times I'm going to say so. It's a bad habit. I do color code. That's just how I roll. So I know my daughter, her math lesson, we broke up one lesson 2 days. So it is behind her English lesson, 17 and 18. We are going to be Unit 1. Oh, all right. First, I go through and just initial. Unit 1, Lesson 19. Unit 1, Lesson 18. And that is basically how I document. There is nothing super fussy about it. Sometimes I'll just like pre-write this the week before. But this day we decided to break free a little bit, and we did our writing journals. The kids got to draw a picture and write about the perfect cup of hot chocolate. And then we played Shut the Box Math Bingo just to strengthen our basic addition, since it's the foundation of all math. And then that's basically it. She read Dog Man all week long. This. Not like the most profound literature, but it got her reading a lot. She would come down, sit down, eat breakfast, and read, which is what I love. Just start where your kids are at, get them to love reading, and then you can build on the type and level of book. All right, so then for my son, what's great about the Plum Paper Planners is that you could label this your kids' names. You can really play with it how you want. This I just found to be the easiest method for me. So that's basically how I document the previous week. We did do a history lesson, so we did history unit for ancient Egypt. And we read reader. And 4. Didn't need to do much prep work or weekly to-do list. So next week, this is where we're going to get into planning out the unit study. So the first thing I'm gonna do actually is just get this prepped. I find that this just makes it smoother. Like I said, this is mostly for documenting purposes more than anything. Keeping myself accountable to my unit study since we're going to be starting that. I don't pre-fill these in because like last week, we took the day off. Well, we just focused on other things than the workbooks. And I should add on here too, for Mr. Avery. He did reading eggs. He does a lesson a day on reading eggs. I should look at where he's at now. Okay, so he will continue to reading eggs. Our readers got a little willy-nilly as we're transitioning. We're waiting for the library to get us our fall reader for my daughter. So she has that. So she'll be doing her fall reader starting this week and him. Normally I write that down. What their reading are. And I do try and write the page numbers, but it's not a big deal. So, all right, getting into our unit study, we are going to be reading Leaf Man. Guys, I'm not much of I love planning. I love visuals. That's how I learn is through color, but I don't necessarily like stickers and all that stuff. I just use my colors. So that helps me visually see things, distinguish, and remember. So we're gonna read Leaf Man, and we're going to make a Leaf Man. Okay, so I'm gonna use this kind of as my guide. So we're gonna make a Leaf Man, and what I have like a little packet here, so I'll show you. These are the leaves I printed off for Make a Leaf Man. They can cut them out. We're going to, so where we live in Arizona, you don't really get fall leaves because we don't really experience fall. So we are going to make a Leaf Man, cut those out, but then I got this little Leaf Man activity with some crossword puzzles and leaves. So we have to figure out what can be done in a day without pushing it because we will be out of town, someplace enjoyable. I also have labeling a leaf, which we're gonna do for science. We are going to transition from labeling leaf and Leaf Man into seasons. So I think this first half of the week, we are going to make a Leaf Man. We're going to do our science, which is learn about anyone else like announce what they're writing as they're writing it? Parts of a leaf. Okay, and then we are going to label a leaf and fun activities. Now the great part, I'm excited about doing it this way, is that my real only goal is that they label and understand the parts of a leaf. We have two different ones. This one is for my kindergartner, but I printed some for his sister because sometimes they just like to do the same thing. She'll do it extra even though it's below her level, just because it's fun. But this, like our biggest objective is to label the parts of a leaf. Then I can kind of leave some of this other stuff out throughout the day and they can do this as well. So that is going to be that. I know that we're going to be visiting family this day. So I'm just going to write that. This is how I gotta do it. I gotta write funny, swirly, different colors. But this is a good tip for your kids too. Like let go of the pencil or the blue or black ink. And when I do this, it doesn't always look great and perfect, but just helps. Okay, we're visiting family that day. So we don't want to do anything like super drastic that day. This day, here, Wednesday, we are going to be looking more at seasons and the changing of the trees. So we're going to be reading Goodbye Summer, Hello Autumn, The Magic and Mystery of Trees, and A Tree for All Seasons. So those are going to be the books we read Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Let's art, we are going to do this activity. I got it from the Good and the Beautiful art book. So there's 4 trees for each kid. And we're gonna make a seasonal tree. Just put 3D. Okay. So we got our leaves for a leaf man, that's planned out. We got our packet on the parts of a leaf. We're not going to go through all of this, but that's there. We have our seasonal leaves that we're going to make. Then I also have just some mazes. We know we're going to do family this day. That's just not going to be done. And then we can continue to read about seasons. And then we can finish projects. So this week we're mostly going to be looking at the science of leaves and the fall. The next week, we're going to get into some more science, but also some history with the harvest moon, what do animals do, and crops. And that way we can, again, continue the science, but then tie a little bit of history in there. And this book right here, A Tree for All Seasons, is going to lead us into that week. So I really wanted to finish off with that book because it does somewhat talk about those things, and then we can go ahead and go into this. And this is great because we just finished reading a book. I can't even remember it, but they traveled back to the Vikings day and they talked about the sunstone and the different moons, and that'll be great because we'll circle back around to that and what they learned in the book, and it'll be interesting to see if they remember that we did that. So that's basically it. This didn't really take a long time to map this out. I also, again, have this to refer back to, but this in a nutshell kind of gives me a week at a glance. It helps my brain to see that and to move the moving pieces and to be realistic. Like, we're going to get these done. We're probably not going to do any of that stuff. So yeah, that's it. The other thing I'll do outside of the unit study is I will open up their course books and I will just check and see, like, do they have any materials that are needed for the week. And depending on my son, if he's just having a really hyper week where it's hard to focus, I'll pre-cut some of this stuff out so he's not having to sit and wait, because then that causes him to wander off into something else, and then to get him to transition back can be difficult. So no, nothing needed there. So we'll know this lesson 108, which we won't, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, we won't be getting to that. So okay, that's it. Nothing needed for her for that. So basically, I just go back to recap, fill in what we did. Then this week, I just kind of prep that out, write out what we're doing for a unit study, check their workbooks to see if there is anything I need to grab or prep, what I need to do. And that's it. Pretty quick process. I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.